What's up, yo? Welcome to the Young Legends podcast, where we teach you the cheat codes of the game of life. I'm your host, Caption, aka Caption Red, and I hope you're well wherever you are. And I'm super excited about bringing you today's episode, which is actually brought to you by the letter W, as in win. Because that's all you're going to do if you put into practice what you learned today. What are you going to do? You're going to win. Win, 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 win. That's what you're going to do. Now, here's a quote from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson about winning and success. Success is not always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work gains success. Greatness will come. Now, how do you achieve success and how will you win? The same way Dwayne Johnson did, through systems. Now, I don't know if you make New Year's resolutions, but about half of the people in the United States do. And around this time of year is when it all falls apart. Because in the beginning of February, people's New Year's resolutions have about an 80% failure rate. That's right, by the beginning of February, people start dropping off on their resolutions. It's not just the groundhog that crawls back into the ground. People who have all these goals also do the same with their resolutions. And I have been in that camp as well. I'm not here to judge anybody. It's a great thing to want to change. And it's also a real thing to fail at changing. I've been there. You probably have too. Now, why do people quit on their resolutions? Because New Year's resolutions are like the guys on YouTube trying to sell you their get-rich-quick schemes. They don't work. I'm so tired of seeing those commercials, by the way, where the guy's like, I could give you all this money, or I could show you how to make it. And here's how to make it. By making videos pretending that you're going to show people how you're going to make them money. Dudes, just go away. Find an honest way to live. Nobody is falling for that. I speak for the people by saying we are tired of it. Now, New Year's resolutions don't work because they are goals. And goals also don't work. Goals are for losers. And that's according to Scott Adams, who is an accomplished cartoonist who created the Dilbert cartoon, the Dilbert TV show, and Dilburritos. I'm not making this stuff up. There was actually a Dilbert burrito. And that has inspired me. Maybe I should make a Young Legends meatloaf. That's the move for 2021, baby. Now, these are jokes. But he did say that in a book that I just read. I actually just listened to it. It was via audiobook. It's called How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. It's a great book, by the way. But he said that. He said goals are for losers. And he said, it's not about goals, it's about systems. And I'll explain what a system is in a second, but a process goal is part of a system if you were paying attention to my last episode. So, if goals don't work, why do we have them? Because goals tell us what kind of systems to put into place. You have to have something to aim at. Not having goals is like closing your eyes and pushing random buttons on the vending machine. And what's going to happen? You may end up with a bag of Triscuits with no hummus or water. So you may just die of dehydration is what I'm saying. Now, like I said, I just got done listening to Scott Adams' audiobook, which is called How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. And like the title says, that man has taken a ton of L's. And it's actually super inspiring because it's good to know that someone could fail so much and still end up highly successful. Now, how did he become successful? Through systems. So, what is a system? Well, I'm going to go ahead and let Scott Adams explain it. This is the difference between goals and systems according to him. And this is a direct quote. A goal is a specific objective that you either achieve or don't sometime in the future. A system is something you do on a regular basis that achieves your odds of happiness in the long run. If you do something every day, it's a system. If you're waiting to achieve it someday in the future, it's a goal. So how do you make it to the top? It's not by aiming or dreaming or having high hopes, aka having goals, but it's by doing the work daily, which is having systems. Now I'm going to highlight the fact that he said something you do on a regular basis and something that you do every day. That's what a system is. See, the difference between a pro, like a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan, and an amateur, like you and I, is the pros do the work regardless, while amateurs do it when they feel like it. Now, as I sit here and talk about this, I don't feel like recording today. but recording is part of my system, and therefore I have to do it. Now, how do successful people become successful? Through systems. Every single successful person has a system. J.K. Rowling, Joe Rogan, Gabriel Iglesias, Beyonce, all these successful people have systems, and you need a system too. And the reason why is systems work and goals don't. Why? Because goals make us feel like failures. Scott Adams says, goal-oriented people exist in a state of continuous pre-success failure at best and permanent failure at worst if things never work out. Now, another guru named James Clear, and I owe that man a latte because I've learned so much from him, says this: when you're working toward a goal, you are essentially saying, I'm not good enough yet, but I will be when I reach my goal. Then I'll be happy. Once I achieve my goal, then I'll be successful. And this is why people have such a problem losing weight, because they look in the mirror and things don't change immediately. And what do? They say, screw it. And then they slide back into their old habits of eating poorly and not exercising, which is crazy if you think about it. You know what that's like? It's like this. Imagine having a kid who was learning how to read and telling that kid that they're a failure until they have gained one grade level improvement in their reading, or even crazier, get to a college reading level. That's insane, right? But that's exactly what we're doing by having goals. Now, you're probably saying to yourself right now, okay, we get it, goals don't work. Help me to know what a system is. Well, what is a system? A system is a habit or a group of habits that are the activities that you need to become great. So here's some examples given by James Clear. If you're a runner, your goal is to run a marathon. Your system is your training schedule for the month. If you're a writer, your goal is to write a book. Your system is a writing schedule that you follow each week. But a system is about doing the work and incremental improvement. James Clear says, when you focus on the practice instead of the performance, you can enjoy the present moment and improve at the same time. And we need to enjoy the present moment to continue going. And if we can improve while we're enjoying the present moment, that's what I call winning. Now, why do systems work? Systems work because big things are made up of small habits and they compound. That word basically means that things snowball. Now, Will Smith, when he was a kid, his dad owned a bakery. And one summer, his dad tore down the wall in front of the bakery and told Will Smith and his brother to build a wall for him. And the wall was supposed to be 16 feet high and 30 feet long. And Will Smith looked at his dad and he was like, are you crazy? We can't do this. But what he ended up doing is he started working on the wall daily, putting the wall together brick by brick. Now, fast forward a year and a half of daily bricklaying, and he laid his last brick. And his dad looked at him and he said, now don't you ever tell me there's something you can't do. And this was a super inspiring moment in his life until Kool-Aid Man jumped through the brick wall and was like, oh yeah. Now, that didn't happen, but it would have been awesome and terrible at the same time. All right, moving on. It's not just Will Smith. Jerry Seinfeld, what did he do? He focused on his joke writing system, and he never missed a day. Nonfiction authors focus on writing for an hour a day, maybe 2 hours, but a lot of authors say that they just can't do more than that amount of intense concentration. Now, other professions have longer scheduled times, but musicians, YouTubers, Olympic swimmers, all people who are successful have a system and have a schedule that they work with. Because here's the thing, nothing happens overnight, and it's all about being consistent. I heard a story once where an Olympic swimmer trained on her wedding day. On her wedding day. Now, all I'm wondering is, did she show up at the altar in her swimsuit, swim cap, and goggles? Because if she did, that would be gangster, right? But she was committed. She is not playing around. She worked her tail off, and that's how she became an Olympian. Now, there's this great college basketball coach. His name is John Wooden. He was a coach of UCLA, and he has the most championships of all college coaches. He has 10 national championships. And he has a quote that goes, make each day your masterpiece. Now, why would he say something like that? Because he knew if you owned the day, you could do great things. Now, here's the thing. If you really think about it, Your entire life is just a collection of days. So if you can make each day your masterpiece, you will have a masterpiece life. Why do systems work? Because it's about changing your lifestyle. Diets don't work because it's not about a diet, it's about your lifestyle. There's no magic bullet. In my lifetime, I've seen the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet, the keto diet come around, and all of those diets have or will go out of style. Why? Because the people who lose the weight on them almost always gain the weight back because they don't end up changing their lifestyle. They have no lasting power. That's why these diets come and go. They're called fad diets for a reason. And like bell-bottom jeans, fidget spinners, and getting a face tattoo, they will all go out of style. Speaking of which, if anyone knows a dermatologist that specializes in tattoo removal, shoot me an email at younglegendspodcast@gmail.com. See, what I thought was a face tattoo would be a great conversation starter, but instead people just ask me questions about what it's like in rehab. So, how do you create systems? Well, you start by figuring out what you need to do on a daily basis by asking yourself this question. And this is a question from author Gary Keller, which goes, what's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? So basically the question is, what's the one thing that you can do that makes your success a byproduct? Now, if you're trying to become a comic book artist, your one thing could be practicing drawing figures every day. If you're trying to lose weight, your one thing could be eating 2 servings of vegetables per meal. If you're trying to become an eating contest champion, your one thing could be to reevaluate your life, because why would anybody want to do that? Seriously. Now, how are you going to figure out what your one thing will be? Here's some advice from Charles Duhigg, the author of the book, The Power of Habit. He says, write down as many habits as you can think of. There's no right or wrong habit. Then choose one and experiment with it for at least a month. This is going to be your one thing. So right now, maybe it's a good time to start thinking, what is my one thing? Once you figure out what your one thing is, build your schedule around it by placing all your other activities around it. And make sure you do it when you have energy. Some people prefer to write at night. Some people's energy is best first thing in the morning. And this is when some experimenting comes into place. And as you build your schedule, make it a non-negotiable. Block it off on your calendar. And if someone wants to hang out with you during your scheduled time, just tell them that you can't. Say, I have an appointment. And you do. It's with yourself. Now, you don't have to be a robot. You don't have to be perfect. But you should be committed to the one thing you want to accomplish. And as you live your life, if you know you can move some things around to hang with a friend or do something else that's important, then do so. But as you do, make sure that you are committed to your one thing. And when you choose your one thing, start small. The key is to be consistent, and trying to do too much will burn you out. All right, so here's a pro tip. In order to create a habit, James Clear states that we should link our new activity with something we already do. And he says the most reliable thing is to pair it with an immediate preceding action, which is basically something you already do. So, his example is, after I return home from work, I will go for a run. I don't know what your schedule is like, but you have things that you need to do. So maybe yours is, after I walk my dog, I will write 2 pages. Or before I take a shower, I will work out. Or before I drink coffee, I will meditate. But think about your schedule and figure out the things that you do on a regular basis, and then pair your habit with that thing. And you really need to take time to think about what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And honestly, it's so important. Maybe you need to pause this episode right now to get yourself thinking about it. All right. So now that you know what you're supposed to be doing, and you also have it paired with something you already do, the next thing you got to do is plan for obstacles, because life happens. So what you need to do is write down some alternative behaviors for if and when obstacles come up. So for example, you might write, if when I get home, the weather doesn't permit, I will do 100 burpees instead. And you can do those in sets, of course. But planning for failure is one of the best ways that you can commit to your schedule and to honor your new system. It's very important to have a backup plan. And as you incorporate your systems, do little things that'll help you to continue your habit, like little rewards or celebrations, like posting on your social media stories of pictures of your workout, or hanging up your most recent poem next to your bedroom light every night, or taking your art and making it the background of your phone for the next 24 hours. These are all good ways. And you can also do other things that keep you on the ball, like calendar tracking to not break the habit, or using the MyFitnessPal app, or even kissing your biceps. Now, I make sure to do that every 15 minutes regardless. But do little things that help you to keep your system going. And I talk a lot about this in my Building Habits episode, which I highly recommend you check out, because it's going to help you to get on the right track with your systems, because all a system is a number of different habits. Now, as you implement your new system, try it and recalibrate it, because it's not going to be perfect at first, but a bad system is better than no system at all. And as you put it together, share it with people who are older and wiser than you, and ask them for their input. And in a few weeks, re-listen to this episode to see all the things that you implemented and what you need to fix. And also, look up what successful people who do what you want to do have as a system and try their approach, because they're successful. So their system probably will work for you to some degree. And take their system and tweak it to fit your lifestyle, your personality, and your schedule. But one habit you really need to do is steal from everyone you meet. If they have a good way of doing things, take it and use it for yourself. That's what the pros do. So in summary, goals don't work. Goals make you feel like a failure. But goals are necessary to help us to put together our systems. And systems work because small things add up. Because at the end of the day, it's about a lifestyle change. So figure out what your one thing is, build your schedule around it, link it with the habits that you already have, plan for obstacles, reward yourself or do things that help you keep going, and put your system into place and continue to recalibrate it. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kick a freestyle rap to summarize everything I just talked about. All right, here we go. Check the words that I'm lifting. I'm talking about systems. What I got right now, yo, I'm just flipping a whole bunch of words straight to your ears. Really quite clear. Goals don't work. You need to just search for a better plan, a daily plan, so you could be the man or the woman. Basically what I'm saying, goals make you feel just like a failure. Go to the bottom, you probably stay there and really not aware of the things that we need. We need things that get us right. That's why goals are the freaking light that we need to follow to have better tomorrows. Come through, I'm ripping a whole bunch of systems I need to follow one at a time. And that's what I say, I come with a rhyme. Systems freaking work, the small things add up, kind of like a change that you got a little at a time, a riddle with a rhyme. I'm talking about things that are in the game, lifestyle change, that's what you need. The way you freaking eat, the way you freaking work out, and that's what I say. Everything you search out, spit freestyles, and you'll be a king. Pick your one thing, that's what you gotta do. That's what I'm saying. When I come and talk to you, I'm talking about a whole bunch of things you jot down, and then you circle one, and then you just run in that direction. Not make perfection, but you gotta keep going. Basically, I'm showing you gotta know the rules. Build a schedule, build everything around one task. That is one ask that I have for you, and that's what I say when I come on through. You gotta have them habits linked on up to something that you do, like when you come home, then you go running, then you go stunning. That's what I say. I'm not just bumping a whole bunch of BS. It is the realness, and that's what I say. Hope you feel this. Put it together and then have a backup, and that's what I say. You come through and wrap up your mind to the things that just have a thing in the background. Basically what I'm saying is you gotta have a thing like an ejection button when you're rushing, spitting freestyles. It ain't freaking nothing. Playing for obstacles. What I'm trying to say, it ain't impossible. You just gotta stay up on the course and go with force. You need rewards so you can keep going. And yo, for sure, you're basically knowing you need to try it out and then recalibrate and that's what I say. Make yourself straight up on your systems. That's how you do it. Every single day, you gotta keep moving. Jump in the pool and then do your laps. And that's what I say. It ain't a trap. It's the way you gon' change. Rearrange your life. And that's what I say when I come and drop mics. Spit off the top. And that's how I go. Freestyle flow. Act like you know. Alright. Alright, so I hope that was helpful. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you are enjoying this podcast and it's helping you to become a better version of yourself, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss future episodes. And please share the podcast with someone who you think will benefit from it. Alright, so that's all I got for now. I hope you're well. I hope you implement systems into your life. And remember, don't try to become an eating champion. All right, that's all I got for now. Until next time, peace.